This is a different kind of story. It isn't about what went wrong with her mind. It's about what happened when she tried to make it right. The crisis service told her there was a place that could help, a quiet space, somewhere safe. She believed them. A woman, early 30s, Dutch, intelligent, articulate, walked through the doors of what some call a mental emergency room. She didn't come in kicking and screaming. She came in quietly, because she was afraid of herself, and she did what we all tell each other to do. She asked for help. What happened next changed the way she'll see help forever. The door locked behind her, not just electronically, but with something worse. Responsibility. She hadn't been admitted, not officially, but as soon as she entered, they said she couldn't leave. At first, it seemed like care. A quiet voice welcomed her inside. They said, "We're here to help you. This is your room. It doesn't lock. Neither does the toilet. You'll be safe here." They promised medication if needed. Doctors would come eventually. A plan would be made, a way out someday. She asked when she could go out for a smoke. The answer, not until morning. Not during the night. Not until 8 a.m. They said, "If we make an exception for you, the others will want one too." But this wasn't something she could simply delay. She was already fighting her mind. Now she had to fight her body too. The craving gnawed at her, and the thought of being told no, that she wasn't allowed to step outside, even just for a moment, tightened something inside her. One man, dark beard, sharp eyes, pressed shirt, told her to hand over her lighter. She said no. It wasn't defiance, it was autonomy. A threadbare thing she still had left. The lighter meant she still had choices, even small ones. It was hers. It was control. And she really, really wanted to have that smoke. They told her to go to her room. She said no. "What happens if I don't?" she asked. "Are you going to make it violent?" The man replied in a stern tone. She wasn't, but now she was afraid, not of what she might do, of what they might do. There are eyes you never forget, the kind that calculate, the kind that hold power over you, and know it. 2 years, that's how long it lasted. A so-called friend, a secret, S.A. He said he'd tell. She did whatever he asked, and every time he looked at her, she saw those same eyes. She was 13. He was older. She never really got away. She only moved far enough to forget, until now. Now, locked in a room with another man who wouldn't let her leave, whose eyes reminded her of everything. They call it care, but care shouldn't come with cuffs, shouldn't need cameras in your room, shouldn't mean peeing on cold steel while hoping no one walks in. Every request was a negotiation, every question a threat. She just wanted to smoke, a moment of control, of calm. Instead, she was told, "Give us the lighter, then you can smoke maybe." She said no, and still she stayed calm. Because if she didn't, they'd have tied her to the bed. It's a balance between being broken enough to be helped, but not so broken that they're afraid of you. Later, they called her father. He confirmed what she already knew, that the crisis team, the very people who sent her here, had told her she'd be allowed to smoke, explicitly. But the staff didn't want to give in. they needed a compromise. Eventually, they settled on once an hour. Still, it wasn't without friction. Once, she asked just 5 minutes early, "Is it 1:30 right now?" The bearded man replied coldly and ended the call. Eventually, someone else came. A new face, a familiar face, one who had seen her before, not in strength, but in fear. They asked if she was safe. She said no. They asked if she was a danger. She said yes, but they saw what others hadn't, that this place made her worse. So, she was released. At 5 a.m., she stepped into the cold, dark air, free. Drove too fast, because she could, because now she had to outrun something else. And when she got home, she cried. She wrapped herself in blankets, put on music, held a knife, not to use, just to know it was there. She melted chocolate on her tongue and tried to feel like a person again. This isn't a story about breaking. It's a story about what it costs to ask for help. They always tell you to speak up, to get help, to go in before it's too late. But no one tells you what happens next. No one tells you that getting help can hurt. This story wasn't meant to scare you. It was meant to show you that even in a country like the Netherlands, with systems meant to save you, sometimes they forget what it means to be human. And sometimes they remind you what it means to survive. This version is poetized, faithful to the feelings, if not every word. Want to hear her full story? We sat down for an extended interview. You can read it in depth in her own voice at go.miscspace.cc/helpstory.
Hey, one of the producers here. We just wanted to leave you with one more message. What you've seen in this video is an individual story, but it's not the only one. Around the world, stories like this happen more often than we'd like to believe. It's not the norm, but it's also not rare. The best time to get help is early. If you're struggling, even if it doesn't feel urgent, reaching out can make a massive difference. And if you're already deeper in, it's still not too late. Please, talk to someone. In some countries, you can reach out to a psychologist directly. In others, you'll need to go through your GP first. But the sooner you start, the sooner you get on the waiting list. Because yes, sadly, those wait lists exist. And the longer you wait to speak up, the longer it'll take to be heard. There's a big difference between getting support through regular mental health services and ending up in emergency care. Crisis help is never ideal. It's often chaotic, cold, and focused on safety over comfort. And sometimes, yes, it does save lives. But it's a rough path to get there. The woman we spoke to for this story has been through emergency clinics more than once. And yes, it helped her survive. But it also left scars. If you start early, you don't have to go through that. You don't have to face rooms locked from the outside. You don't have to follow arbitrary rules just to be heard. You don't have to be managed by people who see control as a tool for safety. Help exists. Better help exists. And it's closer than you think. If you need someone, you can look up help right now. There are links on screen, or just search online. You're not alone, and you're not too late.